This is the brand new MoonSwatch Mission to the Super Blue Moonphase watch from Omega and Swatch, and it might be my favorite iteration of the MoonSwatch to date, and today I'm going to tell you why. Obvious things first, this is the all-blue version of the MoonSwatch, and it's a very vibrant blue, but it works great with just about everything in terms of outfits and pairing, but also bands. There's a lot you can do to match up this MoonSwatch with a beautiful band and a great outfit and have it all look complete. It also has a fantastic panda dial. Again, this isn't on every single MoonSwatch, but on the ones that it is, I think the panda is the way to go. And of course, set into that panda dial, which is unlike any other MoonSwatch, is the blue Moonphase on the dial. It's a great little complication. It's beautiful. Again, I think Swatch and Omega here are doing a great job on the detail and design of these watches. I said it with the Swatch and Blancpain 50 Fathoms that I reviewed not that long ago. You can check that out at the link below. But the detail, the design, the styling of these watches is getting better with time. And if you care, and I don't really necessarily myself, but instead of the traditional outer etching that you see on the MoonSwatches, this one has a pulsometer scale with white markers on it instead of the normal tachometer. Again, minor detail, but pretty cool. It just looks very complete, very well put together. Not all the MoonSwatch models look this good. Yeah, like I said, it's probably my favorite in terms of design. And the lume or super lume on this watch is incredible. The blue on blue looks spectacular when lit up. I think it's probably the brightest lume set of any of the MoonSwatches, and this one has that special little indicator on it as well when it lights up, letting you know it is indeed the super blue moon variant. Now, the movement inside this watch is exactly the same as what is in all the other MoonSwatches, although this one does have a little trick where you can advance the super moon disc, so you can actually go ahead and adjust the watch settings so you can see that super blue moon complication whenever you feel like it. Otherwise, it is on a timed registered delay, so you can't always see it. It's kind of a shame because it's probably the coolest part of the dial. However, you can actually use this as a real Moonphase tracker by, again, advancing the movement and setting it to match the true Moonphase. That is pretty cool. Definitely sets it apart from the other watches in this set, which really, other than the chrono function, don't have any complications whatsoever, nor do they hold any true alternate purpose in terms of use case. Not saying you're going to use a MoonSwatch to track moon phases or actually even be a real chrono, but the functionality's there. It's a cool touch. And while I can't confirm or deny this fact, I have read some rumors about it online. It does seem like the material on the front of the dial is improved because the scratching on this watch in the couple of weeks that I've had it now has been way better than anything I've experienced before. So my original MoonSwatch pretty much scratched 2 pieces after very brief wearing times. This watch is holding up a heck of a lot better. Don't know if this is going to be for everybody or if it's just a one-off thing, but it seems like build quality is a little bit better on this model. But all those things aside, it is the same MoonSwatch, essentially, underneath the blue treatment, the pulsometer, and the Moonphase complication. But really what does it for me is the aesthetic of this piece. I think it's much more complete, creating just a much better looking overall package than you get with a lot of the other MoonSwatches. Now don't get me wrong, as you can see, I have switched out the band on this watch already. It's the first thing I do on any of these Swatch Omega or Swatch X other company collaborations like the Blancpain. Sorry to offend, but the straps that these watches ship with are junk. They feel cheap, they look cheap, and the writing on them is tacky. It doesn't add to the aesthetic at all. When you've got such a nice looking product, why do you ruin it, cheapen it by adding this terrible typeface, font treatment, and color scheme onto a cheap bracelet and strap and throwing it in the box? Just spend the extra $5 in materials and make something that's truly worthy of the product you're trying to ship. As always, I swapped out my strap with one from Straps Co. I actually purchased a couple of different ones so I can mix and match the look of the band, but I'll link all the ones that I picked up down below for you guys to check out as well. But on the subject of making it worthy, what I really liked the most about this particular watch was that ironically, it was attainable, unlike a lot of these other Swatch collaborations. You can't really go and get most of them. They're just hard to come by these days, even years on after being released initially. This one was not the case. I had it pretty much on the first launch day, which was the beginning of August of 2024, which is great. And I was able to pay normal retail. Again, that is great because I overpaid for the MoonSwatch and I just slightly overpaid for the Blancpain Swatch. I don't know what that means about the longevity of these Swatch collaborations, whether the interest is waning out finally after all this time. The fact that you can go in and get this one right now, although it was a limited time only collaboration, and by the time you watch this video, it may no longer be available. But the fact that it was able to be attained at a normal day, walking in off the street at all, is definitely saying something. And it's a big difference from what people experienced with the initial launch and reception of the MoonSwatch line. So I think this is the best MoonSwatch they've made so far. Is it going to be the last one they make? I doubt it. But so far, this is the best one in my opinion. And what makes it the best one is purely the aesthetics. And I know that's not saying much when it comes to watches, but these watches are purely for the aesthetics. Because at the end of the day, these are Swatch watches. They're not going to last a lifetime. They're difficult to service, and they're basically flash in the pan feature watches that aren't going to be made forever. Parts are going to be hard to get, and repairability is going to be pretty limited. But in the here and now, if you can get these at retail, I think they're a cool little piece to put in your collection. I think they look really good, especially in this variant, and some of the little added touches that give it a bit more function, a little bit more style, a little bit more uniqueness go a long way in making this the best MoonSwatch so far. But what do you guys think? Are you over the MoonSwatch craze? Do you have this watch or do you want this watch? Let's have a conversation as always down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next one.